Okay.
Okay, we're live. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Black Creek Oyster Bay Services Committee for Monday, September 19th. I would like to acknowledge, I'm your chair, Brenda Lee. I would like to acknowledge that our offices are within the traditional territory of the Comox First Nation. And I would also like to acknowledge that today is a day of mourning for the passing of Queen Elizabeth II. And many people are in mourning for her. And so we're going to deal with just one item on the agenda today and then adjourn the meeting so people can pay their respects if they wish. So with that, I will go straight to the agenda and deal with that. We have a report, UBCM Community Emergency Preparedness Fund application for the fire department.
Move receipt.
Second, moved and seconded to receive the report, and I believe that we will wait to vote on receipt until we hear from staff on it. So Chief Green, you have a verbal report?
Yes, that's correct, Madam Chair. Chief Bruce Green is here to present the report and answer any of your questions.
Okay, thank you. Chief Green?
Thank you through the chair to the director. The Community Emergency Preparedness Fund, UBCM, has brought that back into effect this year and has allowed us to apply for up to $30,000 for every fire protection area. With Oyster River, in the past, we've used it to update our SPU to bring it up to a standard and update all of our equipment. This grant, we're looking at purchasing 2 complete SCBAs, coveralls for firefighters, and then we want to update the equipment in the fire hall because the new interagency agreement, if we want to go on deployment, they've updated the list of requirements that we need, and there's some specialty equipment on there. So we would use some of that money to update the truck so it's ready to go deployed in the province if needed. And then the last thing we want to do is install a 500-pound propane tank in the training area to allow us to more effectively train our firefighters in live fire scenarios with the car prop and a dumpster prop. It should also be noted that this grant is eligible for $30,000 for every fire protection area. So the grant in total will be for every fire protection area that the Comox Valley Regional District oversees. And for Oyster River, we'll also be applying for $30,000 for the Merville Fire Protection Area and the Mount Washington Fire Protection Area. With those assets will be, if successful, split and potentially save the taxpayers some money, because the intent, like us, is to start purchasing SCBA, which we have to replace next year up to about $150,000, and this will start offsetting those costs. So with that, I'm open to questions.
Any questions from our committee here?
Director Grieve here.
Yes, Director Grieve?
Yeah, I'm just more of a comment, but I would say that I'm quite thrilled to hear that even our Merville Fire Department is eligible for this, let alone Mount Washington, which is just in its infancy. So this will be a welcome boost for both those organizations as well. So yes, thank you very much.
Thank you. My one question for Chief Green was regarding the 500-pound propane tank on the training ground. Since there's businesses and residents around there, will it be fully fenced and secure so that there's no mishaps?
Yes, our training ground right now is fully fenced and it's locked fence, and we'll have a professional installer come and install a propane tank to all the codes and standards that are relevant for BC.
Okay, thank you. Anything further from the committee? So we'll vote on receiving the report. Is there anyone opposed to receiving the report? Hearing none, that's carried. And then
I'll
we're
move the
on
recommendation.
To the recommendation that the board support an application for $30,000 for Oyster River Fire Rescue for fire equipment as outlined in Appendix A of the report. Second the recommendation. Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, call the question. Anyone opposed? Hearing none, that's carried. I understand, is there any new business? And there's no addendum, media, or in-camera items, so all we need is a motion to terminate.
So moved.
Thank you. Second? Moved and seconded to terminate. Anyone opposed? Carried. Okay.